everybody, welcome back. My name is Cassie.
Hi, Caesar. Hi, doggy. Hi, buddy. How are ya?
Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is Cassie, and I talk about books and review books on my channel. So today I am reviewing the Witchwood Crown by Tad Williams. This is the first book in the Last King of Ostenard series. Continuation of the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series that he wrote. And just like in his other series, it's supposed to be a trilogy, but it typically turns into 4 books. And I believe there's talk that this one is going to be that way as well. So it has 2 books in it right now, but there's supposed to be a third because it's a trilogy. But just like Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn, who trilogy turned into 4 books, and Shadow March, that was a trilogy that turned into 4 books. This one is also supposed to be 4 books. Maybe he should just start writing 4 books and just say it's going to be 4 books. This one does follow some of the same characters that we have from Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. We have Sealman and Miramil, and a lot of the and obviously the Sith, because they never grow old or anything, so they are still the same. We have our same protagonists. There's a division among the Sith, so we have the White Foxes, who were beaten down in the war of the Storm King War, and they were driven off, and now they have discovered a new way that they're going to try and come back and take their land. Basically, the Sith were in the land before humans. Humans got there, found out that the Fae had an allergy to iron, so they started using iron against them and started to win this land. Then the Sith were run off, and now they want their land back. And they came to fight it in the Battle of Green Angel Tower, which ended with the Sith being beaten, and they were driven off. And now they are coming back. They have found even though they are beaten down, they are going to come back. They are determined to retake their land. So we also have some of the same characters. We have Simeon, Miramil, and many of the characters that fought in the first the battles were in the first trilogy that has 4 books. We've also followed their children and their grandchildren, who are now coming of age. Now, I will say that of the 2 series that I have read and finished by Tad Williams, they do sound very similar. They have a very similar plot. And I think that he was just using the same time in history as his inspiration, which is fine. I mean, I guess it's not copying if you copy yourself. And I guess there are several times that you can think throughout history where supposedly somebody lost a war, and then they got their second wind, or they inspired their people, or they did something so that then they rose to power again. So I can certainly think of like World War II, or even right now a lot of things that are happening over in Afghanistan and everything, where we thought the enemy was beaten back enough, and now they've come back to reclaim what they feel is theirs. So in that instance, it's I guess it kind of builds up the history of this world that Tad Williams has created, that they refuse to accept failure. And even though in this instance they didn't make it, now they are going to come back and try again. They're going to rally their forces. They've got a new weapon to use. They're determined to regain their homeland. So I think like the main thing that I just didn't, and it's not really something that I didn't like, it just was starting to sound very much like his other novels. Like there didn't seem to be a whole lot new in it. And am kind of interested to see like what part of history that he supposedly took this story from, because I believe it was also the same time in history that George R.R. Martin wrote for A Song of Ice and Fire. So that would be interesting to see, and maybe see the actual history behind it, and who were these people that were the Sitha, how were they related to the history of this place. Now there are dragons in this book as well. They don't play as big a part as some fantasies. but there are dragons, and there's actually a group of people trying to catch one. They need a live dragon for whatever, the Sith need a live dragon for whatever plot they're planning. Simeon and Miramel are, they're obviously the king and queen, and their son has died, and they have one grandson who is set to inherit the kingdom. And they're concerned about him because he just likes to party and have fun, and doesn't like to do anything. It doesn't like being involved in matters of state. And so he causes them a lot of grief. And so they decide that they have to do something to help him grow up a little bit. Because when they were his age, they were causing a lot of problems. And they were doing things that, well, they were doing the things from Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. They were fighting wars and usurping kingdoms and doing all sorts of stuff like that. So, and not that they want him to have to go through what they went through, but they want him to grow up a little bit. So they're trying to find some ways to inspire him to become the king that that the country will need him to be when they are gone. And I will say that Simeon has grown up quite a bit from the first series, and we get to see him as an old man, and how his past is affecting the type of king that he has been. And so far he is a king quite loved by his people, which was kind of what they set up for in the last book. We also had, so there is also kind of a bit of a mystery going on. Twins of the prince from the first series, from the king's brother, have been missing for a while, and they're trying to find them. And I have to say, like, that part of it, I figured out who they were. So I won't say that it was that hard to figure out, like, who the twins were. But yeah, they have gone missing, but we know that they have some important role to play in what's going on, because when they were born, the Sitha that were helping against the Storm King gave them a prophecy about what their lives are supposed to be like. So we know that they're important, and they're missing, and we're trying to find them, and they've been missing for years. The story, the book is just like his other books. They have a lot of things going on. We have a lot of characters that we're following, and they haven't all been tied back together at this point yet, but I'm sure by the end of the series they will be. Just like in his other series, he always has a lot of characters that you're following, and you know that their tasks, the adventures that they're going on are all related, but it just takes him several books before it comes together, and then you understand what's going on. I really like this book. I enjoy Tad Williams. He writes really well. Like, if you're somebody that really likes the great prose, kind of like Patrick Rothfuss does or something, pick up something by Tad Williams. He is a lot of fun to read. Like I said, the only thing that I have really negative to say, and it's not that negative, it's just he could probably use with a little bit new source material, because all of his series seem to have a very similar feel to it, as in we have our Sith or the Fae who are coming back to get their homeland that the humans won from them centuries ago. And so far all of his fantasy series have had that kind of as the main plot. But he does make it interesting, and he does throw a lot of other things in there that make it so like that's not like the only thing going on. And like I said, you can always copy yourself, and that's not against the rules. So anyway, so that's my review of the Witchwood Crown. I really enjoyed the book, and I will certainly be continuing the series when I get a chance. Thank you all for watching, and have a nice day.